You're watching Pulse for the 25th of August, and it's time for some Diablo news. In this week's episode, we take a look at the freshly launched Diablo III Community site and forums, a couple of leaked class skill videos, yet more beta news, Gamescom and Inferno mode interviews, and more. Let's get started. So this past week has been a pretty slow one for Diablo news. Until yesterday, at least. The new official Diablo III community sites and forums have been launched. These are set to be used for any and all future updates. No more using the outdated forums or that website that was just for show. This one's the real deal. Those of you out there that have had a look at the StarCraft 2 and World of Warcraft community sites will feel right at home. This one does share a lot of similarities though, but it has a much more Diablo-esque style to it. We've been told that blog comments, forum posting and profile management are only available to those with an active StarCraft 2, World of Warcraft, or, wait for it, Diablo 3 beta license. I have to say that after visiting the forums and having a look around, I can tell you now that everyone is incredibly excited about the new site, the forums, and, I suppose most importantly, the upcoming Diablo 3 beta. Apparently the guys and girls over at Blizzard have a lot in store for us leading up to the release of Diablo 3, including the launch of the game guide section featuring lore, characters, classes, maps, and much more. As a few extras, we've been told that there's some new character and world artwork on the website, and for those old school players out there, the chat gem has made a return, so be sure to give that little guy a click. So if you haven't already, head on over to the site right now to give it a peek. You can check out their first proper post titled Challenge of the Diableards. Yes indeed, it's time for a challenge. Not a challenge of will or of strength, or to drink a gallon of milk. This is a challenge of follicular fortitude. It's time to grow a beard. Over the past 6 months, many members of the Diablo 3 development team have risen to this challenge themselves, and while a lot of us might have some catching up to do, the goal remains the same. Grow and maintain the most awe-inspiring Diableard you can, and don't shave it off until the day Diablo 3 is released. The ladies out there shouldn't feel left out, there's a separate challenge for you too. Craft the finest mock beard you can from any assorted objects or substances you have handy, and then model it for the world to see. There's not much more to say about this, but it does sound like a lot of fun. So if you're going to enter, be sure to check the post out link below. You can find all the details you need there. And be sure to check the photos out that Blizzard have already posted. There's some pretty stiff competition there. In addition to all of this, 5 new movies, one for each of Diablo 3's classes, mysteriously appeared on YouTube last night. I do think this is totally connected to the new site launching, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see these live on the site sometime soon. The movies are pretty interesting, and there are a couple of skills that are, well, a little different from what we've seen so far. So, check them out. They're all linked on your screen right now, or you can find them in the links below, as usual, and let me know which is your favorite. I personally like the Barbarian going Super Saiyan on us, or that cool transformation that the Wizard does. So moving right along, now we've got a bit of beta news and a lot of Inferno mode interviews. I'm not going to cover all of it in-depthly right here, but if you hear something you think you might be interested in, by now you should know exactly where to find a link to it. Now, before I say anything else, I will tell you that it has sort of been confirmed that we're going to be seeing the Diablo 3 beta in September, so all this talk is pretty much for naught. We know when it's coming, or we have a time frame at least, and it doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime soon. But hey, we can still get excited about the little things. That said, Blizzard has posted the Diablo 3 background image we'll see on our game accounts when or if the glorious day comes that we get into the Diablo 3 beta. You can check the image out. It's nothing special, but still, it is something to get excited about. It seems like they're really just adding the finishing touches now, doesn't it? Another quick mention is that over the course of Gamescom 2011, IGN was running the People's Choice Awards, and yes, I said was, it is in fact over now, and that was to give us, the gamers, a chance to vote for our favorite game of the show. Blizzard Entertainment said that if Diablo 3 did in fact win that award, then they would release the Diablo 3 beta early. But sadly it wasn't meant to be. Apparently over 258,000 votes were cast, and the winner was Valve's Dota 2. As I said before, we do in fact know that the Diablo 3 beta is coming in September, so it's not that big a deal. But still, it makes you wonder, do they have the beta ready and waiting? Can they just release it at the flick of a switch? that does make me pretty sad, but it does give us some hope. Anyway, I think that Blizzard would want to get Diablo 3's beta out before Valve gets Dota 2's beta out. Valve did in fact, if you were wondering, announce that they would have their beta out within the next 3 weeks. So Blizzard are probably cutting it pretty close, but I do have faith. So on the interview side of things, there are a bunch of Jay Wilson interviews, one wherein he suggests that if you've got a problem with the online only thing, it's probably time to upgrade the wiring in your house. Who in this day and age doesn't have an internet connection? You should probably check that one along with the 3 or 4 others with Jay Wilson out. They were indeed good reads. Then you can check out a Max Schaefer interview, and yes, I know he's not a Diablo 3 developer, but he claims that Diablo 3 will definitely not be out in 2011. There's a video about a very interesting costume show that was held at Gamescom 2011. And then lastly, I'll just say again that the interviews with Jay Wilson and the other Diablo 3 guys are definitely worth having a look at, if only because they talk so much about the new Inferno mode or difficulty coming in Diablo 3. If you guys remember at all, sometime last year, Bashiok said that creating or developing something for the endgame in Diablo 3 was definitely keeping the Diablo 3 developers up at night. It was a real problem that needed a real solution. So I guess Inferno mode was in fact that. I honestly think Inferno mode is going to be a lot of fun, especially if you can get a couple of friends in there to grind away with you. It will keep us busy for quite some time. So with that done, let's head on over to the Diablo 3 Smalls. In the Smalls this week, first up, you can read how Razer has declared war against the consoles. The Sword of Justice cover art has been revealed. You can check out Diablo Cast, Be Your Own Demon, the Diablo podcast number 35. This one's all about Inferno difficulty. There's a poll up also about Inferno difficulty over at Diablo Inc. Gamers. You can have a look at One Life to Live number 2. Hardcore by spite or by choice. Weekly wallpaper number 95. Full color battles. Diablo fan art watch number 106. An old demon hunter. Dorkly Bits has a very interesting video up titled The Diablo Townspeople Should Move. Then over at Blizzport you can check out some Gamescom 2011 Diablo 3 gameplay footage. That's some pretty exclusive stuff right there. Then have a look at Purgatory for August the 22nd, and lastly, check out Want to Buy Diablo 3 Episode 15 from It's Jaded. This one's mostly about Gamescom and all the news that came from it. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the Diablo 3 news for this week. Remember to check the links below. There is in fact a lot of information there that I think a lot of you would be interested in. Remember to like the video, favorite it, share it, and subscribe. Most importantly though, happy Diablo 3 community site.